Do we have another major bank getting ready to implement their own 524 rule? I've got a World of Hyatt offer that's going to allow you to earn even more points on your stay. And I've got a story today as it relates to helping your children pay for college and what kind of grades do they have to keep in order for you to keep paying. That and a lot more on this week's edition of the Weekly Pointers News Update. I'm Brandon Boyd with The Brandon Boyd Show. Thank you so much for watching on these episodes that usually come out every Sunday. It's Labor Day weekend. I had some family stuff yesterday, so I'm putting this one out on Monday, but typically I put these out every Sunday evening. My goal is to catch you up on all the news you may have missed regarding credit cards, points and miles, travel, money, finance, and everything in between. Just check out the topics on the screen. There's a timer down below for each topic and timestamps down in the description below. If you do find this video helpful or mildly entertaining, don't forget to be awesome. Give me a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications for alerts, and if you're interested in any of the cards mentioned in today's video, or any card for that matter, make sure you apply using my referral link down in the description below. And when you apply using that referral link, it does greatly help support the channel, and I honestly can't thank you all enough for doing that so far. You're doing awesome. We've got a lot more stuff to cover in today's episode, including at the end, I'm going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to talk about one food deal. We're going to talk about 3 different food deals for you that you'll want to pick up sometime over the next week and help you eat either free or close to free. Either way, it's a good food deal. We're going to close with that. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. You know, Chase's 524 rule is very interesting, right? And we all know how it works. If you're applying for a new Chase credit card, if you've already opened up 5 or more personal cards within the last 24 months, you're not going to get that 6th card, and so on and so on. If you keep applying for cards, it's just not going to happen. Well, we've got another major bank that we have some reliable sources that are saying that they're implementing their own 524 rule and may have already started. This is where I'm going to lean on you. So we have several reliable reports that Wells Fargo has now implemented its own 524 rule. And basically, from what we know right now, it seems to work very similarly to Chase's 524 rule. And what's really interesting is we're also seeing that Wells Fargo appears to be counting authorized user cards towards their 524 count. This is really discouraging news. I do not like the 524 rule, but it's definitely one that you want to keep in mind if you're getting involved in the points and miles game, because it is a real thing. It does exist. Just Google 524 rule and you'll see every major reporter that covers credit cards talk about the 524 rule. I hate to see Wells Fargo do this because they've come so far in the additions and the cards that they made over the last couple of years. I feel like they're really trying to make a break against Chase and American Express and really trying to find really a 3rd or 4th place setting there with places like Capital One City as well, and offering unique credit cards that are going to appeal to a wide range of people. However, now it looks like they are restricting that. So this is where I'm going to count on you. If you have seen this in practice, if you're a very big Wells Fargo fan and you've noticed that this rule seems to have been implemented, we need more data points just to make sure that we're confirming this. So if you're applying for a Wells Fargo card and you feel like the 524 rule is applying to you, especially with these authorized user cards, that's a really big downer. I don't like that at all. But if that's the case, please let us know down in the comments below. People need to know this. I'm not a fan. Wells Fargo, I hope you rethink this one because it's more restrictive, and if you want more people to get your cards, stop restricting us so much. US Bank has just announced some major changes to their Altitude Connect card. So the biggest change is the $95 annual membership fee will be removed. So that is definitely a bit of good news. Points are going down in value from 1 cent per point to 0.8 cents per point. But again, the annual membership fee is being removed, so you would expect to see something like that. The $30 credit for annual streaming service purchases will be discontinued as well. And this is the age-old debate, right? If you cut back on annual fees, which we do gripe about a lot of times, especially when they start getting up into the $500, $600, $700 cost range, you say, well, I wish the annual fees were lower. Well, when that happens, they are going to remove some benefits. In this case, the annual fee wasn't huge, but by removing it, they are taking away some of these benefits. But let's dig into some more of the changes. So 4 times points at gas stations and EV charging stations will be limited to your first $1,000 each quarter. The card does earn 2 times points on dining, streaming services, and at grocery stores. And beginning September 9th of 2024, discount stores and supercenters and wholesale clubs are excluded from that. There are a couple more smaller changes, but really nothing to mention. But I wanted to mention it with this card because it did make quite a splash when it came out. It's very popular for US Bank customers. So just be aware of these changes because it's a popular card. And if there's one thing we've learned in the credit card industry, change is going to come. that is a very common theme. So maybe change isn't that big of a change after all because it's the same. I'm getting theoretical. I think I said something smart, but probably not. I'm just kidding. If you got the card, think about this. If you're thinking about getting the card, make sure you're aware of these changes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The World of Hyatt has an offer right now where you can earn an additional 1,000 points per night during your stay. This one's pretty quick. Hyatt is offering 1,000 points per night at Unbound Collection properties up to 20,000 points. This is valid on stays from September 1st, 2024 to November 30th, 2024, and you must register by October 31st, 2024. It's as simple as that. Go to World of Hyatt, register for this promo, get 1,000 more points on your stays if you're staying at the Unbound Collection, and that's it. Pretty simple. Capital One appears to be making a lot of changes over the next 12 months. And it's gonna start out with making a change to the appearance of many, actually all of their credit cards. Over the next few months to a year, Capital One plans to redesign all of their credit cards, and this is apparently just gonna be a cosmetic change with cards going for a more simplified look, similar to the Capital One Quicksilver card design. Now look, they may just be saying that this is giving a facelift to all their cards, but we all know what a lot of times when change comes to the design, we get changes in the cards themselves. So I would not be surprised sometime over the next 3, 6, 12 months to see not only changes in the appearance of the cards, but maybe new features, new benefits, or even new cards. So this is gonna be a really exciting time for Capital One customers. I am not one of them. I do not have a Capital One card. It's not from not trying. I've tried to get Capital One cards. They basically just hate me. It's the world I live in. I'm perfectly comfortable with it at this point. But let me know what you think about this. What kind of card would you like to see Capital One jump into? What are they missing? We have a lot of Capital One viewers that watch the channel. I'm excited for cosmetic changes. I always like to see when they shake it up and make your wallet look nicer when you open it up with a new set of designs for cards. I mean, it's kind of silly, but we do unboxing videos on this channel because people like the look of cards. All right, so take a look at that. Let me know what you think the design changes should be, and if there are any cards that you think, hey, they should offer it for this particular group, or maybe they should make changes to a certain card now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. You know, every week on the Weekly Pointers News Update, I like to share a story that relates to credit cards or money or finance and how that comes together with relationships, because the intersection of all those things creates some really dramatic stories, some really ridiculous stories sometimes, but those are the ones that I like to share with you every week. And this week, we're talking about a parent that made an agreement with a child to give them money for college, but only if they maintained a certain GPA, and what happened when one of those two didn't hold up their end of the bargain. Before we get to this week's story, I do want to remind you to check out Aura. Now, Aura is going to be very helpful because we learned just a few weeks ago we had the largest data breach in history, including social security numbers, your address, your emails, all those things have been leaked online. Basically, if you breathe air in the United States, most likely your information is out on the dark web, and what you need to do is be more proactive and make sure that that information is not used for nefarious purposes. I can tell you myself, I've had my identity stolen in the past, and it is absolutely the worst thing to have to deal with. It's a pain in the butt to get everything cleared up, and I wish I had been more proactive before that happened, but things do come up. If you want to know exactly how alert Aura is to see when your information is being pulled, whenever I apply for a credit card online, about 10 to 15 seconds later, I get a beep from Aura saying, hey, somebody is pulling your credit report or your credit information. If you want a VPN, if you want to see how much of your data is on the dark web right now, they'll let you know that. They'll let you know which services are using your email address to put you on spam lists, and you can remove those. They have a lot of different services. Long story short, your information is most likely out there. Mine was. It's really discouraging to know that somebody has stolen basically your life and is living your life with your information, and you may not even be aware of it. Make sure you take advantage of the 14-day free trial by going to aura.com/Boyd. That's aura.com/Boyd for that free 14-day trial. Check it out, see what people are doing with your information, at least for those 2 weeks, and if you don't like it, hey, you can certainly cancel. There's no strings attached. aura.com/Boyd. Make sure you check it out. All right, now let's get into this week's story. This is a really short one, and I'm gonna read it from the perspective of the mother that posted this online. She posted her story online. I'm gonna read it verbatim. Let's get to it. My daughter started college last fall. I agreed to pay for her school on the condition that her GPA stay above 3.0. Well, the transcript came home and she ended the semester with a 2.0. So I told her she is gonna get student loans this semester and we can talk again after she brings her GPA back up to 3.0. Of course, she wasn't happy and claimed that I was just making it even more difficult for her to do well, and it is not possible to get it above a 3.0 because she'd have to have straight A's, for example, a 4.0, to average out the 2.0 that she already brought. If she did that, it would average out to 3.0. I told her, I warned her I would only pay if she got above a 3.0, and I meant it. And I want to know, am I a jerk for thinking this? This is a very interesting case. Some people may call this a lesson in tough love, right? You set an expectation. If your child hits that expectation, great, you help them out. If they don't, well, maybe there needs to be punishment for that. This is a really interesting scenario because there are two thoughts that go through my head. First thing that goes through my head is, well, the daughter knew the rules up front, and if you know the rules up front, you make sure that you use every tool possible, whether that be going to a professor's office to get more study time, work in groups, get tutoring, whatever it takes. If somebody's paying for you to go to college and you're not having to use your own money, I would do everything I could to make sure I got that 3.0. I can tell you that. It would not be a question in my case. On the other hand, the daughter does raise a good point. Now she's going to be under so much stress to get a 4.0, which is what she needs this next semester for her mom to pay. Is she going to be able to do it? Is it causing too big of a stressor? I don't know. I mean, in my personal opinion, I think that if the rules are clearly stated, it makes sense. I would want to know why she got a 2.0. You know, 2.0 is only a C average, and if I'm getting a C average and producing that little for somebody that's paying for my college, I'd feel a little bit guilty, to be honest with you. I would say, you know, what could I have done better? This falls on me, and I would take personal responsibility. But there are a lot of people online that are siding with the daughter and saying this is too tough, you're making it too stressful. So this is where I ask for your opinion. What would you do in this scenario? Do you think the daughter is correct? Do you think the mother is correct? Or is it somewhere in the middle? Is there a good medium ground here? I certainly have my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always on the Weekly Pointers News Update, I like to end the show with a good food deal. This week I've got 3 and they're all pretty unique. Let's dig into them. The first one, this is something that I haven't seen before, and this is definitely not for a meal or anything like that, but I had to share this because I thought it was interesting. So if you love Mountain Dew, then there's a very unique promo where you can get a free 20-ounce bottle simply by crossing into the Mountain time zone. That's correct. All you have to do is go into the Mountain time zone between August 27th at 9 a.m. and December 31st of this year. And all you have to do is go to the link that I'm going to put down in the description below where you claim your free Mountain Dew. It checks to see if you're in the Mountain time zone at that particular time. You put the retailer that you want to get the bottle from, and they give you a free bottle of Mountain Dew. I got to hand it to Mountain Dew. Pretty clever marketing in that regard. But let's move on to another one that may be an even better deal. So through September 8th, Subway will be offering any footlong for just $6.99. All you have to do is choose any footlong in the app and use the code 699FL. Again, that's 699FL. I've talked about this on the channel before. Subway's getting really expensive, so if you can score a footlong for $6.99, it is definitely a win. And the last deal I'm going to talk about, this is not necessarily free food or anything like that, but it's one of my favorite times of the year, and that's when Olive Garden comes out with their never-ending pasta bowl. For $13.99, you can go in there and gorge yourself with food. And if you remember the story from earlier, we talked about a college student. Let me tell you this, anytime when I was in college and I could find a buffet where you could sit there for 2-3 hours and just sit and eat all day long, as a starving college student, that is definitely helpful. So the never-ending pasta bowl where you can get endless salad, soups, pasta, it's definitely a good deal. If you're trying to make your money stretch even further, this is definitely a way to do it because frankly, food is really ridiculously expensive right now. So if you can take advantage of somebody feeding your face until your stomach explodes, I'd take advantage of it. All right, this has been a very interesting episode. We talked about the changes with the US bank card. We talked about the new 524 rule, possibly with Wells Fargo, and I've got to know what you think about the story about the mother who is making her daughter pay for her own college because she wouldn't keep her grades up. Really interested to see that. And then also, we had 3 different food deals at the end of the show. Let me know which one of those was your favorite this week. Keep in mind, if you're interested in any of the cards mentioned in today's video, or any card for that matter, make sure you apply using my referral link down in the description below. And when you apply, using that referral link, it does greatly help support the channel. I can't thank you all enough for doing that so far. If you found this video helpful or mildly entertaining, don't forget to be awesome. Give me a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications for alerts, and when you click on the Brandon Boyd Show, click, 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 you will get the latest information on credit cards, points and miles, travel, money, finance, free Mountain Dew, and everything in between, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. We'll see you soon.